Now let us start with the symbolism. Please take that part, symbolism, project that part. Symbolism, what do you mean by symbol? Actually, a symbol is a word that a symbol derives from the Greek verb symbolin, S-Y-M-B-A-L-L-E-I-N, symbolin. It's not there, I will add that. To throw together, and it's noun symbolon, mark, emblem, token or sign. Symbolon, the noun form of the Greek word symbolon, it means mark, M-A-R-K, mark, emblem, token, sorry, just let me start recording the screen. Okay. So the symbol actually means this, the mark or emblem or token or sign. You know how we make use of some symbols for representing something. Okay, and here we have its noun symbol, symbolon. It's not there, but let me talk for you. The sign and the symbol. We make use of these terms. I'm sure you are aware. It is an object or animate, or it's an object, animate or inanimate, which represents or stands for something else. That's what you mean by a symbol. So this symbolism, the possibility for you to make use of something to represent something else, that has been made use by many writers in literature. And that's why you call it a symbolism, the technique of symbolism. Okay, so how can one thing, one object represent some other thing? How is it possible? How does it become possible? Let me get you some example. I'm not reading from the screen right now, but still, let me get some examples for you. It is, a scale can symbolize justice. That may not be really a familiar example, but another example, let me get you. Or-band's scepter. Or-band's scepter can represent monarchy and rule. Kiridam Chengole. Arialo. So that can represent, that is a symbol for something else. That is for monarchy and rule. What about a dove? What about a dove? D-O-V-E, dove. That bird can symbolize something else. A concept, another concept. What is that? Peace. It stands for peace. That is, bird as the symbol of peace. What about lion? Lion can represent, like lion can stand as the symbol of strength and courage. Okay. And rose, R-O-S-E, rose flower as the symbol of beauty. Cross, C-R-O-S-S, cross representing Christianity. These are a few examples I have taken to make you aware of the way it can be used, or how one thing can stand for the other. And that's what we mean by symbols. Okay. So actions and gestures are also symbolic. Not just objects or not just some animals or something. Sometimes even actions and gestures can symbolize something else. Just see the clenching of fist. What do we mean by clenching of our... It's a kind of gesture that we make, you know. Okay, clenching of fist. Mushti jurutta. What does it represent? It symbolizes aggression. That means you are infuriated. It is you are angry. And what about arms raised? Arms raised. It means surrender. Without telling anything, you can symbolize that you have surrendered. That's what you mean by arms raised. It's an action and gesture. But that also has a significance in the mode of symbolizing or representing some action, something, some other concept. Okay. So a literary symbol combines an image with a concept. That means words themselves are sometimes a kind of symbols. Okay, and it may be private or public. Then we come to this description here. The poets, some poets using some private symbols in poetry. Sometimes even there has been this, during this time when symbols began to be used with that much uh, it became a kind of common practice of using symbols in literature. Then some of the poets began to use private symbols. That means constantly in some of their writings we could see a lot of symbols recurring. In one poem you can see the same symbol, in other poems also you can see the same symbol by the same poet. Okay, so here they made it somewhere private. Some symbols were not even private, was commonly used. Okay, so Shelley, with a Shelley, you know, P.B. Shelley. He used this morning and evening stars, boat moving upstream, all these as his private symbols. So most of the writings of that poet contained these symbols. And conflict between serpent and eagle. Always we tell. Pambum, Kirium, Pambum, Pole. It is to represent the rivalry between someone. So that also can be a symbol for something, some other concept. And again the same with the serpent and eagle. They are also seen to be or taken to be, that also is taken to be a pair representing or symbolizing rivalry. Serpent and eagle, they are always having conflict with each other. Okay, and what about the, yeah, now here, just wait. The continuation, it's using symbols than explicit signification. That is the term you see there. What do you mean by this explicit signification? What do you mean by explicit? Implicit and explicit. Those are the two terms we have always. And what do you mean by explicit signification? Explicit means something highly open. So symbols are not used as something explicit. It is something implied. We have to think and we have to find out what is the significance of using these two concepts there. Okay, so this is the way symbolism works out. Just let me. Symbolism, you can see, I will read out. Various poets of the Romantic period often used private symbols in their poetry. Okay, Shelley, for example, repeatedly made symbolic use of objects such as morning and evening stars, a boat moving upstream, and the conflict between a serpent and an eagle. All these we could see in most of the writings of Shelley. So those became private symbols. We have very common symbols as well. Okay, now symbolists exploited an order of private symbols in a poetry of rich suggestiveness rather than explicit signification. So suggestiveness, what do you mean by suggestiveness? One thing suggesting something else, but we have to make use of our intellect, our reading capabilities to find out. Our intellect should work out to see what the poet meant there. Okay, otherwise our reading will be going in a very plain and surface level manner. But here we need something like very in-depth reading to identify the significance of these symbols. So symbols are something which stands for something else. Okay, it's not about having the meaning, but we know by some feature of that which already we are aware of. Like we know how serpent and snake are together. When they are together, how they do behave. Okay, they are always attacking each other. So here again we have the kind of the concept. Then we go back to, or we think about the concept. We try to connect with the concept of rivalry when you see these two mentioned there. Okay, so that's all with the symbolism. So that's all. And again, if you have any doubt, please ask me.